Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. How are you, LaShonda?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. Also, I'm so glad I can take my glasses off for a second while I just direct eye contact you, but I need these for reading purposes, no matter how you slice it. I am so glad to have you here today. Where are you located, LaShonda?
So I'm in the Tampa, Florida area.
Oh, no wonder it's all bright and sunny. I can see the sun beaming in, the natural light and everything. And then you are also just full of brightness yourself. So I'm so excited to have you here today on the Kim Jacobs Show. So we're going to have a good time. And we're going to have a great conversation. Lots and lots of conversation. Everyone in the virtual studio audience is going to be chiming in. They'll share their comments. Many times people will ask questions, especially with the topic we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
So lots of people may have questions too. So get prepared for some kind of like flash round stuff where people will ask a few questions. And if you have those answers, we'd love to hear them. Okay.
Sure. No problem.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about, I saw all of your P's. So tell us from your perspective, what we're going to be talking about today.
So today we're gonna focus in on talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is kind of the way that I live my life. And we're going to talk about proactive, purposeful planning. And in particular, we're going to speak about end of life and estate planning, because that's the one initiative that I am just most devoted to at this point in my life.
Okay. Wow. Okay. This is going to be proactive planning. We're going to be very proactive, very, very purposeful. And we're going to talk about like our overall like end of life planning.
Yes.
And this topic, a lot of times people don't want to really get on it and definitely don't want to stay on it, even if it's just brushed upon or brushed over quickly. But I want to make sure that today we get an understanding of why it is important to be proactive. And so LaShonda is going to take us on that journey. And when we come back from this commercial break, LaShonda, I'd love to find out what made you so passionate about it. And I'm also going to formally introduce you to everyone as well. But I'd like to hear from you what made you so passionate about it when we get back. Okay?
Sure.
All right, everybody. We'll be right back after this commercial break. If you're just coming in, go ahead and share the broadcast. Everyone needs to hear today's topic, how to be purposeful, practical, and how we're going to be planning for our overall end of life experience, which we're all going to get there. So we'll be right back.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. And we are back. We're going to be hearing from, let's talk about this young lady that's here today. And it's a lot to her story, but I'm going to give you a chance to actually share your story in detail. But LaShonda Renee is more than just her resume. She is an empathy and a social entrepreneur, an social entrepreneur, an empath is what it actually says, and a social entrepreneur. Outside of working and service, she enjoys spending quiet time at the local library. I didn't know I was not on an island by myself, so I'm glad to hear that. At the local library, creating content, cooking, road cycling, and running. These are just some of her hobbies, but her story is nothing short of amazing. So LaShonda, I would like for you to tell everybody what your mission is and what helped you become involved in solving these critical issues that face people in this lifetime.
Sure. Excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm trying my best here to hold on to this voice.
And you
I'm
can
feeling
drink water, do whatever you need to on this show. Trust me.
Yeah, so as you can see in my title, I have a little bit of education. And so I am a licensed attorney, actively licensed attorney, but I no longer practice law. And so one thing that has been a theme in my life is that I've always been that person who is looking to solve problems that no one else is solving. I'm always looking for the gaps, and it's not something I actively seek. It's just brought to me and it is revealed to me. And so this whole going into teaching and training people about end of life and estate planning has just been a natural progression for me. And I'm very, very passionate about it, and the reason behind it is very personal. I've witnessed a lot of families, be it my personal families or other people, just be devastated by, unexpected medical emergencies. Could be, someone in a car accident, a illness that terminal illness that was unexpected,
Right.
or just an unexpected death. And just watching people navigate through those situations, it's been difficult to watch it from afar, knowing what I know. And typically, what happens is there's not enough money.
Right.
There's not enough money to pay for the medical bills. There's not enough money to pay for the funerals. And then on top of that, there's no plan. There's no will. There's no trust. There's no power of attorney. There's no legal documentation put in place to help the family navigate through that process. And so I just didn't understand that. Because the one thing we always say that there's two things guaranteed in life, right?
Right.
And taxes. But that's not right. The only thing guaranteed in this life is death. And that's the one thing that we do not prepare for.
And that's
And
so true.
that's where I come in right now, because I see the power in being able to do this early to save not only, a family from grief and from, being dragged through a court system, but
Right.
also the family dynamics change when you don't have a plan in place, when you don't have you haven't properly set up your family to live without you. So that's where I'm really, really passionate about, because I feel like everybody should know should know at least the basics about estate planning and end of life planning, so that they can do something. There's better to do something than nothing at all at this point.
I agree with everything that you're saying, LaShonda, and I'm so glad that you did make the decision to just not only just be in a traditional setting, but to do this, where you're going to be helping so many people in a whole creative, unique way. According to singlecare.com, and this is a medical debt statistic that was shared. Thank you, Cassandra, for sending this. 2022 medical debt statistics says that 1 in 4 Americans have trouble paying medical bills, and 1 in 3 have delayed care because of the cost alone.
Yes.
And some other statistics here are saying that the average age of people who go through a medical bankruptcy is an average age of 44.9 years old, according to the American Journal of Medicine. This in 2009. And according to those that are even married, it says that it's 46.3% of them are married. That's a lot. So even though you're thinking sometimes maybe it's just an individual that's struggling, even in marriages, 46.3% still experience medical bankruptcy of some sort. So this is all, and 60.3% attended college.
Yeah. And, to add on a little bit to these statistics that you're bringing up, that's the money part of it. But,
Right.
but 60% of Americans do not have a will. 60%. And you would think because of COVID that number would have increased, because now, death is, is closer to us. It's real. And we don't feel like, we're going to live forever now, because we
Right.
see the results and the effects of this pandemic. You would think that more people would start creating, estate plans and at least get a basic will. Those numbers have gone down. But ironically, those people between the ages of 18 and 34, COVID and the pandemic has caused them to create 16% more of them are creating wills than those who are in the 34 to 54 age range,
That is
which
on
is
age range-ish. You
because normally it's the opposite. We're younger. We think, oh, the world is, we're going to live forever. We don't have the life on us yet.
right.
And the weight of that and the reality of life on us yet. But the opposite is coming true. The younger generations, as much as we have our, we talk about them and we compare ourselves to them, they are taking the necessary steps right now to ensure not only that they are good, but their families and their children are going to be good.
Right. So now, as you've been going on this mission to help educate people, how receptive have people been? Because I'd love to hear that, because I don't know if people are just like, oh, come on, or are people like,
No, not at all. So, there's an organization called caring.com or caring.org.
Yes.
They do a will and estate survey every year. And they said that 25% of the people have, only 25% have started a conversation with their families about end of life planning. Only 25%. And so for me, that resonates so closely to me, because this journey that I'm on and this, this mission that I'm on and I've been, assigned here, this started in 2009.
Right.
And it started in a way that was very genuine and just, I was in a situation where I was working a job that I didn't like. And we've all been there, and you're trying to figure out your exit plan. But in the meantime, you got to figure out, okay, how do I get through each day, right?
Right.
And so I always have a notebook beside me.
Me too.
I started writing in that notebook. And I happened to be in a job and I was working in the legal field. And so, I would be in these different law firms and offices, and I was dealing with highly confidential information.
Right.
So back then, cell phones were just coming about. Texting was a new thing. But I couldn't have my phone, and I could not speak to anyone else that was working with me because of the confidential nature of the work that I was doing.
Right.
And I couldn't use the internet on my computer because of the documents. So I had to figure out a way, like, how do I get through this day, and there's nothing there. So I would just write. Thoughts would come to my head, and I would just start writing and writing. And when that notebook got full, I was like, I wonder what I've been writing. I got to get another notebook. Started reading through it, and there was a common theme. And the common theme was all of this. This was planning, estate planning. And it's what created, I ended up turning that into a seminar. And I ended up turning that into a book called Wills Don't Matter as Long as You're Still Alive.
Oh, is that the image that I have? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, here, I want to put that up. So wills don't, this is good. Let me.
Most people don't know that, though. Most people think, I need a will, but yeah, wills do not become legally effective until you pass away. So my question is always, filling in the gaps again, what happens if you live? What's your plan? And then what's the plan for your family when you pass?
This is so informative. So I hope everybody's sharing this. I can definitely tell you where it will be shared. We're actually going to be on Believing Your Dreams Network coming up here, and it'll be streaming in over 200 million households. So I'll get a chance to air this episode to over 200 million households. And so that's why I really want to make sure that it's a good experience. You're talking and you're getting a chance to really share what it is that you do. and also be able to answer the questions of our studio audience. Let me go to some of these comments that's coming in right quick. My mom is on. She said, "Good morning, Kim and LaShonda. I am in my virtual seat. I am looking for a few of my family and friends to sit with me. Veronica, Mother Harper, Mother Lofton, and so go." So she's talking to other people in the studio audience. "I have your seat waiting for you. Come, let's enjoy this good show." Thank you so much,
That
Mom.
is beautiful.
Effie Robertson, she's actually a host too as well. Her and her husband host a show, and she's also a new author. They're going to be coming on this week, Trailblazers Who Lead, and some unsung heroes as women. All this month, I'm going to be featuring so many different women, everyone that's watching the Kim Jacobs Show. And these are some phenomenal women that are making history in their own ways. So I'm so happy that you're here, LaShonda, today as you kick this month off. I don't want to say which month it is because I don't know which month it's going to be airing on Believe in Your Dreams Network, but this is a monumental month, and we're going to be celebrating and highlighting women all month long. All right, so totally agree. She says, "I'm not responsible for your life. Is it fair for me to be responsible for your death?" That's a good question. Any comments, thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And by us not taking the time now, being responsible stewards of, what's been given to us now, then that's what we're doing. We're putting that responsibility on someone else.
That's
And it isn't fair. It isn't fair. And anyone who's gone through this process and been a recipient of having to, deal with, the aftermath of someone who did not have an estate plan and did not financially prepare themselves or their family for that emergency, they know.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows that's been in a situation, and you're like, okay, we're here. And we don't have any plan. We haven't had any family meetings, no discussions. And now we're here. Now what? Now everybody's scrambling around trying to figure everything out. And that is a horrible place to be in. And I know that personally, that's a horrible place to be in.
And to add to that, and I'm glad you brought up like family meetings, because you think about it. We all either have experienced this or we know some family or somebody who has, right? The person dies, they don't have anything set up. And then what happens? We go to GoFundMe or one of those websites, right?
Automatically, yeah.
And I find it's an odd situation because, I know, at least in my family and many families that I know that are like mine, that there was always this theme about family business. Family business stays in the family. It stays in the house. We don't share that in the outside world. We put on a different mask, right? Yeah. Until we can't afford to pay for the funeral.
Then it's like, everybody, we now put all the business out.
All the business is let out. And, part of that is like, okay, there's such a contradiction. Yeah. But I can't be mad at the contradiction. What really pulls at my heart is that it's the most emotionally vulnerable time in your life. You are raw to the core and you're opening up to other people. Yeah. And you shouldn't have to do that. The process of life should be when a person passes away, you're supposed to do one thing or maybe two things. You're supposed to be able to celebrate their life. Yes. You're supposed to be able to mourn the fact that they are no longer in your life.
That's right.
You can't do that when you're trying to find money and trying to figure out, well, who owned the house and what bills are due and who are the creditors, who are the debtors. You can't do that. And what happens is we don't have time to actually mourn, to sit in those emotions because we're worried about everything else. And then what ends up happening is it should be an opportunity for the family to sit together and say, we're not doing this again. We're not going through this again. Let's figure this out. Okay, we don't know what to do, but let's bring somebody in to teach us and show us what to do so that we will never be in a situation again where we have to ask for people for money or we have to take out loans or scrounge. But we don't do that because we are dealing with so much. We don't have any room left in us to sit down and have those conversations. Because at the end of it, we're still trying to take care of ourselves.
Wow. Wow. I just blew a kiss if you saw me go like that. It's because I have 5 children and well, one of them lives in heaven when we're talking about end of life, actually.
Mm.
But one of my children just walked by and he blew me a kiss and I was like, like, oh, I did that on the show. So
Oh,
I'm still a mom, right? In the midst of everything else, all these things, hats that we're wearing. Okay, so that's really a good point that you made too. We be able to celebrate the life of the person and mourn the fact that they're not here, not having to try to pitch together and now figuring out how to get some funds. Pamela Howard, she's our event planning specialist and she does luxury event planning. So if you're ever interested in that, make sure you check out Pamela Howard. She said, this is so true, LaShonda. Unfortunately, our people, I'm sure she's saying African Americans, do not believe or have the knowledge for estate planning. They fail to realize that you have not have to rich, or you don't have to be, this is what she's saying, that
yeah.
you don't have to be rich or middle class to have a plan for their afterlife. That
Mhm.
any special steps that you would share with people when it comes to estate planning? I don't want to put you just on the spot. We're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back and hear your answer to that because I want people to walk away with a real clear understanding of how to estate plan here today. And she says proper planning for the unpredictable end will give a better financial peace. I see all of your comments coming in. We're going to take a commercial break and we're talking today, everyone, with LaShonda Renee Maxfield, and I am going to put her website up. It's LaShonda Renee. And for those that are podcast listeners, that's spelled LaShondaRenea.com. Okay. LaShondaRenee.com. All right. Right after this commercial break, tell us some steps on how people can estate plan, because I like to hear that. We'll be right back.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements. And we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, we are back and we're talking with LaShonda Renee Maxfield, and she's talking to us about proper planning, practical planning, purposeful planning, you name it, a bunch of P's, and how we can prepare for end of life with our families, estate planning. LaShonda, talk to us about this more.
Sure. So you asked about some steps you can take to estate
Yes.
plan. And so in order for me to answer that question, let me tell you about an initiative that I just launched a few weeks ago. And actually, I launched it on Valentine's Day, which is my birthday. And so
Happy belated birthday.
thank you.
And I see
And
now when
so-
I hear birthdays, I automatically just do extra stuff. Like I'll just put you on a birthday background for a minute and everything. So happy belated birthday, LaShonda Renee Maxfield. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So one of the initiatives, so I have a nonprofit. I also have a for-profit, but my nonprofit is called Salwabano Foundation. And Salwabano is a Zulu word that loosely means that I see you, and by see you, I bring you into being.
Okay.
And it resonates very well with me because, people don't see each other. They don't take the time to slow down and actually see the other person and actually listen to the other person. Normally, we're just waiting for our turn to talk, our turn to go, because, we're so busy, right? And so, that's why I named this organization what I did.
How do you
And
spell that? Because I was going to type it, but I was looking over on the wall. I don't know how to spell it. Tell me.
Sawubona, Salwabano.
Foundation. Okay.
Yes.
And where can they find out information on that?
So they can find out all this information on my website at LaShondaRenee.com.
Oh, okay.
Everything is there. And so we launched a, as I've been going through this process of, teaching and training and just educating people about end of life and estate planning, I realized there's some, this is something that everybody needs, right? And I've always, struggled with, okay, what do you give away and what do you make people pay for, right?
Right. Me too, LaShonda. I want to
And
give
for me,
everything away, but
exactly. I was like, I don't know how to monetize anything because this is when I see a need, money just doesn't equate to it. I'm like, no, you're supposed to get it. It's like air. We don't charge for that. You get
right.
it. So, so after some time, and like I said, this journey started in 2009, and I created an initiative. It's called Road to 100K, and it's to educate and empower 100,000 families to become legally literate around estate planning and end of life planning. Now, I don't know if you all heard that, but 100,000 families, not 1,000 people, not 1,000, families, 100,000. Now, the reason behind that is I can go and find 1,000 people. I could probably find 1,000 families on my own, but I know that 100,000 is a huge number, and I can't do that alone. So I have to step out of my comfort zone and do things like we're doing today. I'm not a camera person. I don't do this. Like,
You
I'm a
look like
behind
you've
the
been doing it
curtain.
all your life.
I am. Thank you. I am a behind the curtain person. Let me just get this work done. I am 100% analytical and compassionate, and that's it. Me. I don't need the rest of this. But I see that this is what I was born to do.
Yes.
This is what I was set on this earth to do. And I have to do it. I've sat on it for 10 plus years, thinking someone else will come along and create this thing and do this thing. But nobody's doing it the way that I'm doing it, and nobody can do it the way I do it.
And can I please chime in there as a quick interruption? And that goes back to my point in life that we are all given a gift. We're all given talents. And unless we use our gifts and our talents to salt this earth, guess what? The entire world misses out because God gave you the 100,000 road. He gave you that. And so if you just sit there and be like, oh, I'm shy, I can't get in front of the camera, then guess what? We all miss out. It's not fair because he trusted you with that gift. So I'm so grateful that you've come from behind the scenes and you're here doing what God purposed for you to do on this earth. So carry on.
Thank you. So the road to 100,000. So like I said, we launched it 2 weeks ago, and it's simple. And this is the answer to your questions about what are the steps.
Yes.
So the first step is the road to 100K. You can go to road2to100k.org, or you can just go to lashondarenee.com, and there's the link there. When you go there, it shows you how do you support this initiative of educating and empowering 100,000 families about estate and end of life planning.
Okay.
First step is to join the course. Now, most people see courses and are like, oh gosh, this is going to take forever and there's a cost. Well, one, there's no cost. Everything I do for Road to 100K, there's no cost. I will never ask for money for Road to 100K. I will ask for in-kind donations of time, of resources, but never money. So the first step is to sign up for the course. Now, the great thing about the course, one, it's free, and two, it could take you as little as 5 minutes to complete. 15 tops. Okay.
Get out of here.
Yeah, everybody has that amount of time, right?
Oh yeah.
So we spend more time scrolling on the internet.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to remember our passwords.
Right. Okay, so step number 1 is join the Road to 100,000 course. There's no cost to join, and all you have to do is go to lashondarenee.com, and it's right where it says, I'm going to show you. I'm big on showing people stuff. I just like the visual. I'm a visual person. So when you go over to LaShonda Renee, let's take you here, and I'll show you exactly what you're going to be seeing. When you go to the home page, can you all see this? Welcome to lashondarenee.com, and Road to 100K is right there as one of the drop-down tabs. Or you can also go down to the bottom and you'll see community initiatives and click on Road to 100,000.
Yes.
If you have questions, you can select Let's Chat, and a representative will communicate with you real time. So make sure that you know that as well. Now, but all of a sudden, I'm a road to 100,000 agent. You're like,
Come on, come on.
I didn't
We're looking
say
for
that.
benefactors. We're looking for benefactors.
So this is really good. Okay, so step number one, join the course and take the
Yes.
course, 15 minutes or less.
Yeah. So, and let me walk you through the course quickly. So once you click on there, you will go to a page, and the page has 4 points on it. And it shows you 4 ways you can support the road to 100K.
Oh, do you
So
want me
the
to go
first-
there? You want me to show them?
Yeah, you actually can.
Okay, hold on. Let me do that. Let's go over here so she can walk us through. So click here.
Yeah, you can click there or at the top.
Okay. There we go. To educate, and then go
Oh,
ahead.
we're not seeing it because it clicked in a different page. So we're still seeing your first page right now.
Okay, so click here to begin.
We can't see it. So what we're seeing right now is it open in a different page?
Yes. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me reshare it. That's what happens sometimes with the platform. It's like, no, that's not what you originally said you wanted us to sell. So it's like, look here, y'all gotta follow me. Stream.
Yes.
There we
You're doing
go.
much better than me.
So here you are, right?
Yeah. So when you click on when you get to the main page, the first thing it says number 1, join road to 100K. You can either click on the right where it says click there, or you can click on the actual graphic.
Let me make sure you're seeing this. Yeah, so it's just sharing one page at a time. Give it a second.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but it's a part of the platform. Sometimes it'll let me share up to like 5 things before it says, girl, you are just doing the most.
Like I'm learning from you right now, so this is good.
Okay, so it says road to everyone has to complete all the steps. Okay, so it gives you the opportunity to join first. You have to join.
Yes. So let
And-
me explain. So we set this up this way on purpose. We want people to join the course because the idea is this. If we educate one person in a family, and this is why this is road to 100K families and not 100K people. If you educate one person in a family, then that person is going to share with the rest of the family, right?
Right.
So by joining the course and signing up for the course and creating your little password or whatever to get into it, you can come back to it later.
Yes.
You can bring your family back to it, and all of them don't have to necessarily join. Plus, you will see on there are resources that you only need to choose one resource to actually look at, and you can actually come back later and view the rest of the resources. So remember, I said
Okay.
5 minutes or 15. So maybe you only have 5 now, but you have time later. So you can always come back, and you don't have to search through your emails trying to figure out, okay, how do I get back to this place? Right?
Right.
You just go back. So once you click on it, you sign into the program, and then there's an introductory video that gives you little stats, some of the stuff that we discussed today about, the number of people who have wills and things of that nature. And then it also gives you a little intro to the road to 100K, 2-minute video. After you finish that, the next step is the education piece.
Yes.
I have 6 videos there that are basically your introduction to estate planning. And you just choose one. They're all great. They're all made by organizations and estate planning attorneys, things that these are people who are doing this day in and day
Real
out.
time, right?
Yes. And they're the ones who are actually, executing the documents, creating and executing the documents. Although I am an attorney, I'm only an attorney in one state. And so for me, I know where my strengths and my skill set lies, and that's in the education piece. So I educate so that someone else can go and do the execution. So you go through, you pick a video, you watch the video, and when you finish the video, the last step in the process is to sign the petition. You sign the petition.
That's good. This is awesome. This is awesome. I did just register as well so that I can
you can come back.
So that I can actually go through the process myself.
Yeah.
And it's very easy, everyone.
Mhm.
So listen, we're going to take a commercial break. And then when we come right back, I'm going to hear some more from you, LaShonda. And if I have someone's at my door because I have 3 children with cystic fibrosis. So I can see he's going to leave with the medicine, but he can't leave with the medicine because this is medicine that helps their lungs. So I'm going to answer the door. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back and hear more on this very important topic. We'll be right back, everyone, right after this commercial break. Wow. There's some good stuff you're sharing, LaShonda. Thank you. We'll be right back.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work, work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Okay, and so I'm back. Being super. You can't even imagine how I sound my name. I was like, anyway, listen, that is an excellent step. Step number 1, road to 100,000. Everyone, let's make sure we do that. It takes you less than 10 minutes to do it. And then step number 2.
So the first step is to go through that course. So like I said, there's 3 steps in the course: your intro video, the education video that you get to choose, 5-minute to a 10-minute video. And then the last piece is signing the petition. And the petition basically says that I have been educated. And because I know a little bit more than I knew before I came into this thing, right? And now that I've been educated, I'm curious, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm empowered to go and share this information with my family.
Yes.
And that's all it's saying. That's it. And, people ask me, they're like, well, why are you doing the petition? I say, well, first of all, you want to be able to
ask the same question.
So it's 2 reasons. You want to be able to have, evidence of what's going on, because this is such a hard topic. We talked about it earlier, how, people don't want to talk about death. And I don't think I actually answered your question when you asked me about it. No, people don't want to talk about death. It's still a hard topic, because when you speak about death, you have to come to a realization that you are going to die.
Right.
And nobody wants to do that. Your mortality is tangible now, and you don't want to do that. And so, for me, by having this petition, it shows people that, okay, you know what? Other people are actually on board with this thing. Other people are educating us. It's okay. It's giving people permission to educate themselves and to do the things that they need to do to protect themselves and their families.
I love it. I love it. I'll sign the petition, and I'll definitely take this course. And it sends you a verification email just saying that you're verifying that you're allowing your email to be used in doing this course. So you can't just get scammed or frauded or anything. Mm-hmm. So I love all of the steps that I'm seeing back here in the back office. And I'm grateful for you taking this time to do this initiative. So now, after people, now you're not doing this for any political reasons or anything, no changing of legislator or any, I don't know. I'm asking.
So originally that wasn't the plan, but as time has gone on, and like I said, I've sat with this. The first time I presented this was at of all things, it was at a women's leadership conference.
You're going to be presenting this a lot more. So get your seatbelt strapped on, because I have some things that's happening down the pipe that I'm going to be bringing you in for sure.
Oh, and I have a little bit more to add to it, because it was at a women's leadership conference in Charlotte, North Carolina, the UNC Charlotte.
Oh, my son goes to UNC Charlotte, actually.
Yes. I presented there for 3 years. And so, that's where I started. That's where this all began. And I realized that it's real and it's resonating with people and it's needed. Yeah. And so I sat on it since 2009, 10, and, I waited, because I was like, yeah, things are going to change. They're going to start teaching this in, school, there are going to be resources out there. And I didn't see that. And so now, I have an undergraduate degree. So I actually went to school in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I went to Fayetteville State, the new CIAA men's basketball champions.
Okay.
So I have an undergrad in political science, public administration. Yeah. I have a law degree. And then I have a master's of healthcare administration. And so all of that comes together, and I'm like, okay, I had the ability to affect change because I understand the process, the legislative process. I understand the politics. And so my ultimate goal, it may not be realized in my lifetime, but the goal here is to go into the school systems and change the curriculum
Good.
so that this is a life skill. It's great, math, science, biology, love it. But there's two things when you become an adult. There are two subject areas that we
Right.
are not taught that can change and affect the quality of life that we have. One
Good.
is finances, financial education, not there, right? The second is legal education.
Financial education and legal.
Yes.
Financial and legal education. We
So
must learn. I'm just going to put we must
exactly.
learn according to LaShonda. Okay.
And my vision is to go into these school systems and advocate for these subject areas, in particular my subject area, which is estate planning, to be taught because it's needed.
Yeah.
My why for all of this is because it started over 20 some years ago, almost 24, 25 years ago. I was in college and I had a very close friend. She was in college as well, different college in the Northern Virginia area.
Okay.
Really great young woman, bright future ahead of her. She lived, she lived outside the home, so she had her own little apartment off
Right.
campus. She was paying for school. She had a part-time job, and she did what she normally does. She did the right thing, right? She went
Right.
to Bible study one night. It was Wednesday night, went to Bible study. And afterwards, she was like, I'm feeling energized. You know, I have a friend who just had a baby in North Carolina. I'm going to go down there and see the baby. I got to
Right.
go see the baby. I mean,
Yeah.
how
Which
many
is
of
what
us are like,
friends do. Friends
yeah,
do
I'm
this.
not tired. I don't care. It's 9 o'clock. Let me just hop on the road.
Right.
And, she's driving. And anyone who's in that northern, I'm from Virginia, so I know the area well and lived in North Carolina, and the 85
Right.
between Virginia and right before you get to Charlotte,
Yeah.
most dangerous stretch of land, of highway. She fell asleep. She fell asleep, and her car veered over into the incoming traffic, and an 18-wheeler hit her head on, and she died instantly. Right now. That's a sad situation, right? Her parents, she's the only child. So now she's in North Carolina, parents are in Virginia. The accident happened. So most of us don't think about this. What happens in that moment, right?
Right.
Well, first, the police have to go and figure out who she is. There's only one way to figure that out is normally it's through your driver's license or your registration if it's in the car. So they were able to find that. Now, when we go off to college, we leave our home for the first time. Nobody's telling us to change the registration to our new address. So the address was her parents' home, which was good in this situation because the police were able to go to the parents' home and notify them.
Right.
It took a few days, but they were able to. Now, at this point in time, what should happen is the parents should be able to mourn the death of their only child
Right.
and bury them. And that's it.
Right.
Nothing else. But she was, 19, 20? Of course, she didn't have an estate plan. Of
No.
course, she didn't have a will. She didn't have a power of attorney. She didn't have a financial power of attorney, right? Now, remember, I said she lived by herself. She had a
Right.
job. She went to school. So when you pass away, you've got to notify the employer that you're not coming in. And that, if there's any insurance or anything that needs to be triggered, right? You got to notify the school that you need to unenroll her because she's no longer here so they can stop charging her. You need to notify all the utility companies to turn off the utilities. You have to notify the company, the landlord that we need to, enter the apartment and get the things out of the apartment. But here's what happens. A parent, let's say a mother, will go to the apartment complex and say, hey, give me the key. I need a key to my daughter's place. No, you don't get entry just because you're the mother. She's an adult. You have no authority to do anything on the behalf of anyone. It doesn't matter the blood relation. If that person is 18 years or older, you cannot do anything unless you have legal documentation, legal authority to do so. And that's why this is so important. The education is so important. And it's important from the time that you're 18 years old because this happens. So now you're in a situation where, as the mother, she has to go and find an attorney to draw up these documents, to go through the court, get a temporary power guardianship or order to be able to go and enter the apartment, to pay the bills, to stop the bills, to basically,
This is crazy.
Yeah.
What you're saying, this is a lot to process.
Yes. And most people, all they're thinking is, oh, they're just planning a funeral and mourning the child. No.
Right.
And all of this takes time, which means there's extra time off of work, which means there's extra stress on them, which it means this is extra money out of their pocket because now they've got to pay, an attorney, they got to pay court costs, probate. Because if you die without a will, or without the proper legal instruments, you're dying intestate, which means that you're dying without, those proper legal documents, which means that now you've got to go through the court system. And the court system's going to charge you.
You better believe it.
3 to 16+% of what you own, and you may not own anything. You may owe stuff,
But then do they have to pay their debt if they are now legally responsible for them?
So each debt is individual. You've got to look at what the debt is. But most debt, 99% of the debt that you have, you're going to have to pay still. You're still responsible for that. And think about the number of parents who are co-signing loans for student loans and, co-signing for that apartment and that car. Like that responsibility doesn't go away just because a person's not here anymore.
Okay.
So it's a lot.
This is a whole lot. Everybody, if you have questions, comments, go ahead and flood them in, because when we come back after this commercial break, I'm going to give you a chance to ask your questions, share any thoughts that you have. LaShonda is sharing significant information with us today that we need to prepare for. I've tried to tag some more people as well, but make sure that you have to notify the employer. You have to notify the school, notify the utility companies, notify the landlord, notify all appropriate parties, but you don't get to notify anybody or at least access anything without having legal documentation to do so. This is according to LaShonda, some of the tips that she's sharing with us today. Education is so important. Go to that road to 100,000 at LaShondaRenee.com and complete that in less than 15 minutes and learn more about this particular initiative. Let's see. And they will send you some detailed information so you can stay connected with them as well. I'm getting communication as well. All right. So right after this commercial break, we're going to come back and we're going to hear more from LaShonda Renee. Thank you, LaShonda. This is amazing. Amazing. I keep saying your middle name. Is that okay, LaShonda?
Oh, no, that's perfect.
Okay. I'm giving you a whole stage name. You're like, hello, LaShonda Renee Maxfield. All right. All right, everybody. We'll be right back. I'm learning so much. We'll be right back.
Lamb Funeral Home has been serving the Cabarrus County in North Carolina and surrounding communities for more than 9 years. Our staff of funeral directors are dedicated to providing the very highest quality of service and continue to be well respected throughout the communities we serve. Our professionals are caring, experienced professionals who understand that each family is unique and has personal requests and traditions. These requests and traditions are the utmost importance to our staff of licensed funeral directors. From the initial care to aftercare, you can entrust your loved one and arrangements to Lamb Funeral Home.
All right, everybody. Listen, Lamb Funeral Home, they're located in the Concord, North Carolina area. The owner, Mr. Terry Lamb, he's been a veteran. He's been over 28 years as a funeral home owner here, but also is a veteran and knows all the ins and outs of veteran benefits. So make sure you take a moment to learn more about them and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. They're certified in all 50 states as well. All right. So let's go and see if anybody put any comment, if there's anything that needs to be shared. Wow, this is just great information is what's being said. It's so informative and I'm learning a lot. And I do agree with you who's sharing that comment. And I did see someone else say something about sitting and smelling the roses and just enjoying the moment with your family while you have them. I see you too, Carrie Ann. She's our overcoming single parent obstacles and helping adolescents speak out. She does a program where she teaches adolescents how to speak out because she had a situation where her significant other passed away tragically, and she helps young people speak out as well. This is awesome. I was asked this question a few weeks ago. Thanks, Kim, for finding amazing guests to help us get our lives together. Yes. And thank you. It's my honor to do so. All right. Any other comments or thoughts that you have, LaShonda? Because I know that with you running this nonprofit organization, what are some ways that people can support what you're doing? I see the road to 100,000. Is there anything else that we could be doing to join forces with you?
So there's a few ways to support. I'll put it in two different categories. One way to support the road to 100K and one way to support me. So the first way to support the road to 100K, take the course, sign the petition. And the second way is, share it with someone else, share it with friends. It's interesting that when I share this information, the first thing people ask me, well, can I share it with my organization? Can I share it with, my job or my friends or this, this group I belong to? I'm like, yes, you can share it. That's the point of all of this. Do not keep this to yourself. This is the one thing you need to be, you need to make sure you're not selfish about.
Right.
So sharing it is another way. A third way is to become a benefactor. So I mentioned earlier that the road to 100K will never ask anybody for money. Never. That's not what we're set up to do. What we're set up to do is educate. And part of that education is exposure. We're exposing people to new terms, to new ideas, to new thoughts, to new concepts. And amongst that is also exposing them to other people, to other businesses. And, I mentioned earlier, like I like to fill in the gaps, right? And so I like to expose people to things that they don't even know they need, to businesses they don't even know that, that are there. You can't Google these people. And so these people have come in and they have donated resources. Their resource may be if they have a book, maybe they have an ebook version of the book. They've donated that, or an intro course, or a private community that they have. They've donated those resources. So everybody who signs up for the road to 100K will have access to those resources, because we will start putting out newsletters. And within those newsletters, you're going to get an update on the road to 100K, what we're doing, if there's any legislative action, any speaking engagements. We're also going to put in there those benefactors. We're going to list their services and what they have to offer so that you can be exposed to those things, and their coupon codes or links to whatever that free resource that they're so generously offering. And then the fourth way that you can help with the road to 100K is to share your story. Everybody has a story. And I have when you click on the road to 100K.org, or you go to LaShondaRenee.com and click on the road to 100K there, you will see all of this listed there. All the links are there. If you want to share your story, it's at the bottom of the page. It says share your story. You click on that link. It'll take you to a really quick survey where you just give your name, your email, or you have choices of how you want it to be. If you want to be, anonymous, we don't have to use your name, but what we want is your story. We want you to be able to share with other people how the lack of planning has affected you. And then some people are fortunate where it hasn't affected them.
Okay.
But as a business owner, what would happen if you're in a financial services planning, business? What happens if your clients don't?
Right.
Share that aspect. So it gives everybody an opportunity to be able to support in one way or another.
Yes.
So that's how they can support the road to 100K.
This
Now,
is incredible. I'm sold. I know you're not selling anything here. It's just a free program.
not yet, right?
But I am so sold. I think this is incredible. And every family around. I didn't even know about any road to 100,000 until you came on this program. So I'm just so honored that you're here today. I want to make sure too that you all go and visit. Let me put this back up here as well. That we're bringing balance to the world today, one household at a time, with LaShonda Renee, and her site is LaShonda and RENEA.com. Make sure you all visit there. It has everything that you need to know about the Road to 100,000 program, some of her consultative services that are paid, that you know, if you're going to get some things that she still have to earn an income. Remember, she was a regular attorney that now went rogue. No, just she went in her own way. So she just like bumped her head and started helping the world. So she still has to have income coming in. So there are some consultative services, courses, and other things that you can do, books and things that you can purchase from her website. But the free initiative is the Road to 100,000, and that's her community initiative. She doesn't ask for money. She just wants you to join, hop on board, and be a part of that. And that's just incredible. All right, so let's see comments that came in. I see somebody, Virginia Rutherford Hall, says, educate and exposure is important. Keeping it 100. Yes. Thank you so much for your comment and all of your comments that's been flooding in throughout today's broadcast. We really appreciate you all being here. This time went by fast, but I do want you to talk about this family continuum. I think I saw something about family continuity plan. What is that?
Yeah, so so the way that you can support me outside of the Road to 100K is my proprietary program. And it's called the Family Continuity Plan. Many of us may have been, especially those who are in business, we have been exposed and we know about business continuity plans. And, you know, that's when, you know, when your business, when you decide that, you know, you no longer want to be in business anymore, what are the next steps? Or if you decide your partner, you have a partnership and you decide, I don't want to do this anymore. How do you keep that business running when you're not there? And so I've taken that same concept into this estate and life planning with families. And it's called the Family Continuity Plan because what I do is this. We sit down, I teach you about these estate, you know, these basic legal documents. We go a little bit more in depth into them. We figure out what is relevant to your family at this stage and what you may need later. We also talk about, you know, one of the barriers for people to do estate planning is cost. You know, so we talk about, you know, what it is that you can do right now, that you need to do right now, what you can wait on, what you can do yourself, you know, and a lot of attorneys don't like to advocate for that. But, you know, sometimes it's better to have some, you know, self-created and executed documents that are legally binding than to not have anything. And so, you know, I educate you on that. But the bigger piece of this is the mindset shift or about death. Okay. You know, we talk, I have my clients look at death in a different way. Instead of it being selfish, we look at it from what do you envision your life, the life of your family to look like when you're not there? You can't always be there. That's the reality. So how do you want them to live? And now that you know how you want them to live, let's reverse engineer this thing. You know, my daddy was an engineer. And I was like, let's reverse engineer this thing and let's figure out how to get there from today because it's possible if you see it. And so the purpose of the Family Continuity Plan, there's other parts to it, but to kind of wrap it up is that I take everything in your brain and I put it into this plan. So if anything were to ever happen to you, you're driving home from work one day, car slits off the road, you end up in a coma for, 10 days. Okay. Right. Now, your spouse can pick up this plan and they can pay the bills. They can, most people don't realize most spouses don't even know where their spouse works or the number to the company.
That's
all of that's there.
That is really concerning.
All the bank accounts, all of it is there. And the purpose behind all of this is just to make sure that you can sit in the moment.
Yes.
You can do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to feel. You're supposed to be emotionally, expressive in that moment. Take care of yourself and your family and not have to have the interference of the court system and everybody else in your pocket during that time.
Wow. All right, everybody. I think we've covered as much as we can in one episode. I hope that you all will go ahead and stay connected with LaShonda Renee. I'm going to just play one more commercial and we're going to close out. And then I think that's it. If you have one closing comment, how at the end of a show, you're like, I didn't say this. Then say that as soon as we come back, LaShonda, but the hour goes quick, clearly, right?
Yes.
So we'll be right back, and then we're going to go ahead and prepare to close out, everybody. We'll be right back.
Nothing says I love you more than final expense insurance whole life protection with funeral advocacy nationwide, saving you and your family 30 to 80% off funerals and cremations. Nothing says I love you more than Get Insured Solutions, LLC. GetInsured.Solutions, 704-499-3616.
All right, and we're back. So what's your closing thought?
So, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing me on today to share this message. It's such a, it helps me so much to be able to do this, and I just appreciate it. And my closing message is this: if you're watching this broadcast now, be it live or on replay, understand that there's a reason behind you being here. You didn't just happen to click on this. There's a reason. And one thing that I tell my clients is that it's we watch all these videos and we learn this stuff, we get excited and we don't take the next step.
That's right.
So take the next step. Don't just waste your time watching this without taking the next step and taking some action. And the road to 100K is, the easiest way to take some action, to educate yourself, to educate your family, and to set yourself and your family up for success, and to not have to deal with those horrible situations that we've all experienced either personally or from afar. So I thank you today. I'm honored to have been, on this platform with you, and this has just been such an amazing way to, kick off, this special month.
We're celebrating women, everybody. No matter when this airs, this originally was aired during the time of Women's History Month. So that's what we're celebrating here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So hopefully whenever you're watching it at whatever day or time that you're celebrating these women with us. So thank you, LaShonda Renee Maxfield, for kicking this month off with us here on the Kim Jacobs Show. You've been a blessing. Everyone, listen, if you're enjoying content like this, many times people ask, well, Kim, how can we support the Kim Jacobs Show? Only way that this show can continue to function or operate is if you all do give some level of online contributions. So you can do it a lot of different ways. It's in one of your comment feeds. So definitely continue to support the broadcast. And we thank you for your online contributions. It does make a difference. Okay. All right. The rest of tomorrow and on Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, we have trailblazers who lead, and it's going to be women that are part of a new book called Trailblazers. It's volume 2, Unsung Heroes. You're going to be meeting some women that are powerhouses that are leading in this thing called life. So you don't want to miss these upcoming episodes, and we will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, LaShonda. And here's how you stay connected with LaShonda one final time. Go today, now, LaShondaRenee.com. LaShondaRenee.com. Please stay backstage, and I'll talk to you for a brief moment right after the show, okay?
Sure.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. See you all. This was awesome. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
Jacob Show.